Film starts with a scene where rich and poor live together. But wealthy people do not accept the poor. Their standard of living is high, and they look down on the poor. This film is centered on the character Arthur, who lives in this city. He used to live with his mother. Comedy was his favorite and he wanted to become a great comedian one day. His ideal was a host who used to run a great comedy show. He wished that one day he will be with that host on his show. Then we see Arthur on road, standing for the advertisement of a company. Then some mischievous boys appear there, they tease him and steals his signboard. Arthur is in the appearance of a clown. He runs after those kids to take back his signboard. But those kids make him run and hit that signboard on his face. As a result, signboard is broken and they also beat Arthur until he passes out. Being disheartened, he directly moves to his employer. He tells the whole story of what has been done to him by the kids. But his employer scolds him unusually. He says, "Are you in your senses? How do the kids do as such?" He says, "I will not pay your wages." Arthur has low confidence so he cannot speak in his favor here. Being dejected, he comes outside. He thinks, why no one believes me? Coming to his house, he begins to dance. Next day, Arthur tells about those kids, meeting with his coworker. His coworkers say to him, "It happened wrong, you should have cared yourself." He gives a gun to him but Arthur refuses to take it. That man forcefully hands him over this gun. Then Arthur leaves for his house. He is in a bus and there is also a sitting kid before him. He tries to make him laugh. Then that boy begins to laugh loudly. His mother is infuriated on it. She says to Arthur, "Go away. Don't disturb us." But Arthur starts laughing on it. Actually, Arthur suffers some sort of the mental disorder. He cannot control his laughter and starts laughing anywhere. Sitting in a bus, he gives a card to that lady in which his disease information were written. Coming to his house, he begins to take his medication. Actually, this medication was rare while he was not financially sound. So he used to take this medication from the government medical store. One day, he visits his psychiatrist and she says to her, "Show me your diary. What have you been writing?" Opening his diary, she finds a written statement that, "I just hope my death makes more sense than my life." Then Arthur goes to his house and his mother asks him, "Have you received any letter sent by Thomas?" Arthur responds, "No. Not even today. Thomas is an aristocratic businessman, and people are very afraid of him." His mother says to him, that he will surely support us after knowing our condition. Next day, he encounters a single mother with her daughter on the way. Arthur begins to like her, but he returns to his house. His mother again asks about the same letter here. Arthur says, he will not support us and what is your connection with him? In the following day, it is observed that single girl comes to Arthur's house. She says to him, "I am noticing from a time that you are chasing me." Arthur replies, "Yes. I liked you." That girl begins to laugh on it. They soon develop a bond for each other. Arthur again receives an opportunity as a comedian. When Arthur was dancing, that gun falls out from his pocket. All kids are scared and the whole faculty is surprised thinking, what is causing him to keep this gun? He is also fired from this job as the news travels. He calls his employer and says, "It is just a toy gun." His employer says, "Don't lie. Your coworker has revealed everything to me, that you yourself took this gun from him." Arthur is again disheartened thinking his coworker had forcefully given this gun to him. Then it is seen, Arthur is returning to his house by train. There are also 3 businessmen. Who were the men of Thomas? They are harassing a girl, sitting in the train. Arthur begins to laugh because of his mental disorder. And those 3 men think as he is laughing at them. They beat him too much as his mouth begins to bleed. Arthur was trying to tell them about his condition but 3 of them don't hear him at all. Being aggressive, Arthur kills 3 of them, taking out his gun. He flees thinking he has murdered 3 persons. He locks himself in a lavatory. In the beginning, he feared. But he begins to dance here. It was appearing as he is not regretful. He was also at peace. TV is broadcasting the news as he comes to his house. Thomas is talking there. He tells that 3 people who were murdered, those were my men and they were killed by a clown. Here the poor people are supporting the clown instead of feeling sorry for these 3 murderers, because they are protesting against the rich people in the appearance of clowns. Arthur visits his psychiatrist from there. She tells, "We are meeting today for the last time, because government has stopped funding us. And I cannot treat you without money." Arthur is again dejected. Being sorrowful, he comes out from there. Then Arthur comes on the scene who is trying to make people's laugh in a comedy show. But he fails to do so. In anxiety, he begins to laugh loudly. He gets throws out of show and he comes back to his house. His mother says, "My son. Post his letter which is for Thomas." Arthur does not believe when he reads it. He says, going to his mother, "Why did you keep it a secret from me?" His mother tells him, "My son. I did not do it deliberately. Thomas and I had feelings for each other even though we also wanted to marry. But I belonged to the poor family while he was aristocratic. So we did not marry because of the societal norms." Arthur leaves to meet his father. When he reaches there, Thomas's own son is there behind the back of the gate. Arthur begins to show his childish behavior before him. He also tries to make him laugh. Meantime, Thomas's domestic worker approaches there. He says to Kid, "It is not good to talk with a stranger." And he asks Arthur to leave. Arthur says, "I will leave after revealing the truth. My mother served for 30 years for Thomas House. They used to like each other. And I am not the son of another person but Thomas." The domestic worker says to him, "You have fabricated this story. You and your mother have no concern with Thomas." Hearing it, Arthur feels ill and leaves from there. Going to his house, he comes to know that his mother had a health attack. And she is shifted to the hospital. 2 police officers arrive to him as he is sitting outside. They ask him, "Do you know about the 3 victims who were murdered in the train?" Arthur says, "No. How can I know?" He knows that her mother has been interrogated the same question by police officer and that caused health attack for his mother. He comes to his mother inside where that single mother is also present. Then the TV broadcasts and news, and there is also the same Arthur's favorite TV host. He starts watching his show fondly. At the first sight, his own face is shown on the TV. Actually, Arthur's ideal comedian is making fun at him. It was a clip of Arthur's uncontrollable laughter. In this way, Arthur is badly hurt thinking my ideal is making fun of me. Thomas comes on TV that is broadcasting news. That city's circumstances have gone worst. Poor strata have come on the road, putting on the clown makeup. And they are protesting against the aristocratic people. Arthur is much excited, knowing they are all opponent of Thomas. He feels that his work has been complimented for the first time. Now the place where the poor strata were revolting was a theater. The aristocratic people were watching a movie in that theater. Thomas was also there. Police arrived there in order to stop that riot. There is commotion everywhere. Taking the advantage of this, Arthur moves inside the theater. He goes to the lavatory of theater where Thomas had also come. Arthur says to him politely while going to him, "I am your son. Remember, you and my mother used to accompany each other." Thomas says to him, "I don't know about any lady by this name." And he strongly punches him. As a result, his nose begins to bleed. Arthur returns to his house. After a time, he receives the call of police officer. Actually, they wanted to interrogate Arthur about 3 men that had been killed. Arthur also comes to know that his best-loved comedian has also invited him on his show. Actually, the comedy clip of Arthur which he had played in his show had went viral. And the popularity of his show had increased. He gears up to go there. But he thinks that Thomas' domestic worker had told that my mother is insane. So he visits a psychiatric hospital where her mother had been treated. He asks the record of his mother from them and runs away after stealing that file record. There was a written statement that Arthur's mother was in relationship with another person. He used to torture her physically. At that time, Arthur had also received an injury on his head. So he is suffering this disease today. He directly moves to his friend's single mother from there. Here it is revealed that she does not exist. She was just a part of his imaginations. Arthur is much worried because of his mother's wound. Going to hospital, he chokes his mother to death with pillow. Coming to the house, he finds a photo with a written statement at its back, that "I like your smile." It was stated by Thomas. And this photo belonged to his mother. He realizes here that his mother was not lying. He begins to apply his clown makeup. Being dejected, he is blank about the happenings around him. Then his same coworker appears there. He says, "I want to interrogate about your mother's recent murder and the killing of 3 persons in train." Arthur thinks, they have again come to make his life a chaos. And here he kills his coworker violently. After this, Arthur gets ready and wears the clown costume. Now he was preparing to go to his favorite comedian's show. He is very excited and he is going while dancing on the way. Both police officers also arrive there, who were detecting the train incident. But Arthur runs away. He boards a train while running. There were also many people wearing clown costumes. Police cannot search him among number of people. Getting chance of it, he comes out from there. And he goes to his favorite comedian's show. He asks, going in front of him, "Are you also in clown look? Are you also revolting against aristocratic people?" Arthur requests him, "Don't expose me before the people accept this fact, that I am an ordinary clown." Then their live transmission is started. Onlookers get excited, watching him. They are appreciating it. Arthur's favorite comedian asks him a question there that, "Why have you come here putting on the clown makeup?" He replies, "I always wanted to be happy. And I also wanted to distribute the bliss among people. People liked me in this look so I preferred to come as such." He tells everyone that, the 3 killed people in train have been murdered by me. He says, "I revealed it before you because many poor people get killed every day. Has anyone given attention? Has anyone raised a voice against upper strata? Or tell me if someone missed the victims. Why the people are raising their voice if I have killed any wealthy man? Is there no equality for the whole of the humanity? Is there any specialty among the wealthy people?" He says society is corrupted, its inhabitants are self-obsessed. It is not your sympathy at all if you have invited me in the show. You did it because the popularity of your show was increasing due to my presence. But the comedian says, it is not at all. Arthur is angered, saying, are you still lying? He fires his gun on him before everyone. People are frightened and begin to run outside. But Arthur is seen confident here. He does not fear anyone. Police seizes clown Arthur on this crime. And police begin to take him far, getting him into the vehicle. But Arthur observes that there are many people supporting him on the way. They are supporting him. Some of them get in the ambulance. And they crash it driving speedily with a police car. So the police car is crashed and the clown has come outside now. He stands on the same vehicle, uniting with those people. All people were looking at him and complimenting him with joy. His mouth and nose were bleeding enough. But he draws a smiling curve with the blood and begins to laugh, spreading his hand. Now he had become the ideal of everyone. He was satisfied with people complimenting him. On the other side, Thomas comes on the scene. Who is leaving this city with his current wife and son. But a clown standing aside kills them, firing his gun. But he does not harm their son. Then the location changes and Arthur is seen with psychiatrist. He is also laughing there. That psychiatrist says to him, why do you continue to laugh for no reason? Arthur says to her, you will never be able to understand this feeling. His outsole of shoes was filled with blood. Innocent victim becomes a victimizer if he is treated ill. Now he was solemnly contented with his life. And the movie also ends on this scene. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more.